Let's begin with the same energy as before, with Solo Leveling Ragnarok, Chapter 61. In the previous chapter, we saw an intense conversation between Arsha and the Apostle, where Arsha modified the star fragment and gave it a completely new form, one that could now even be used on awakened hunters. That means the danger is no longer limited to shadow hunters. This power can now affect anyone. Arsha tells the Apostle that she'll be supplying these modified fragments to him, and then reveals her true goal. She wants to defeat Sung Jinwoo and Sung Soo by teaming up with the Apostle. But the real shock comes when Arsha reveals that she's actually a descendant of Pragnar Parasha. As soon as the deal ends, Arsha leaves her hideout, and we see a few people with her, including a small child. Then the twist is revealed. The Arsha we just saw was actually a clone. Her real body is still inside the hideout, and the most dangerous thing is that she also has a system just like Jinwoo. The system gives her a new quest called Becoming a Monarch, meaning she is now on the path to becoming a monarch herself. For the first time, someone other than Sung Jinwoo and Sung Soo has a system. And from here, the story starts to get absolutely wild. At the end of the chapter, we see an awakened hunter named Yusuf trembling in fear. Arsha inserts the modified star fragment into him and turns him into her believer. And that's where the last chapter ended. Now, at the beginning of chapter 61, the scene shifts to the control room. The captain of Flight 472 contacts and reports that their plane is flying over South Korea. He asks if it's snowing there. The control room replies, no. But then the captain says that something strange is happening in the sky, and suddenly, a gate has opened. Everyone is shocked because no one had any idea about this gate. The captain describes a massive snowstorm forming around it and warns that if it continues, their plane could crash at any moment. But before he can say anything else, the connection cuts off. Silence fills the control room and panic spreads as they issue an emergency alert. The scene then cuts to Sung Jinwoo, who is continuously raiding field-type dungeons, clearing one after another easily. He finishes every fight effortlessly, but keeps forgetting to use his new skill, Greed. He even laughs to himself saying, man, I forgot again. That's how powerful he has become. He doesn't even need his new skills. Jinwoo fights alongside his shadow soldiers, upgrading them and planning how to turn their shadows into permanent items so they can always stay with him. He releases his aura, absorbs goblin soldiers, and increases his shadow creation level. Honestly, at this point, Jinwoo is more like a walking army than a human. Jinwoo is creating things even more powerful than before. Goblin soldiers are transforming one by one into shadow items, and it's literally raining items. The glowing panels look so mesmerizing, you can't take your eyes off them. Jinwoo notices that the items he's getting this time are mostly high-ranking ones, with very few low-rank drops, which means his shadow creation level has truly reached the next stage. And then comes the jackpot. He gets a Herc-grade item. It's not an ordinary piece of gear, it's a gauntlet. Jinwoo looks at it, smiles, and says, Herc grade, not bad, but seriously, another gauntlet? What am I supposed to do with this? Because just recently, he equipped Greed and made his own shadow gauntlet. He looks at the design and says, man, I wish I could customize how this thing looks, but the system clearly doesn't allow it. Then he compares the Greed and Herc gauntlet and realizes that Greed still provides a better boost. So he doesn't equip the Herc gauntlet. He just keeps it with him. Jinwoo then leaves the dungeon, thinking to himself, I've cleared so many field-type dungeons, but there's still no trace of the star fragment distribution factory. Is the Apostle already moving before I can make a move? He starts to suspect that the Apostle already knows about all his actions. Just then, a notification pops up on his phone. Emergency summons. All hunters have been called for an urgent meeting. Without wasting a single second, Jinwoo rushes out. The scene cuts, and now we're inside the meeting hall. The place is packed with top-tier hunters. Among all the S-rank hunters, there's only one A-rank sitting there, Jongso. He mentions that all major guild leaders are present. Baegu starts the meeting saying, you all know why we're here. Cha-jong adds, yeah, it's because of that gate that just appeared over South Korea. Taegu says, so we're here to decide who's going to take the lead on that gate?
Then Dong, another S-rank hunter, speaks up. Isn't it obvious? That gate will fall under the Fame Guild. Taegu smirks and replies, I heard your guild recently got a new S-rank hunter, Yusuf. Congrats. We wanted to recruit him too, but he chose you guys instead. Dong laughs and says, well, the credit doesn't go to me. It's all thanks to Park Dojin the Apostle. And right there comes the biggest twist. The same Yusuf we saw in the previous chapter, the one who had a modified star fragment implanted inside him by the Apostle, is now officially part of the Fame Guild, which means one of the Apostle's believers has successfully infiltrated the Hunter world, and no one has any idea. The story is now at a point where tension is building from every side. As the top hunters are still discussing the newly opened gate in the meeting room, the doors suddenly open and in walks Sung Jinwoo. The moment he enters, the entire atmosphere changes. He says, I just cleared a field-type dungeon, and the moment I heard about this meeting, I came straight here. Instantly, the whole hall goes silent. Everyone's expression says the same thing. Sung Jinwoo is here? The newer hunters are literally frozen in place. Then Madongu, the leader of the Night Guild, steps forward, extends his hand, and says, Good to meet you, Coach Su. Su laughs and replies, Hey, I'm not a coach or anything. Dungu smiles and says, I heard you're still unaffiliated, not part of any guild yet. How about joining our Night Guild? Before he can finish, Dong Taegu from the Fame Guild jumps in. No way, come join us instead. But Su stays calm and replies, I don't plan to join any guild right now. All the guild leaders sigh in disappointment. Chaojong mutters, another rejection? Figures. Su quietly takes a seat. Then the meeting officially begins. Chairman Woo Jin-chul makes his entrance, his tone serious. He says, You've all probably heard by now a new gate has opened over South Korea. We received the first report through an aircraft, Flight 472, which has since crashed. The magical pressure around the gate was so overwhelming that the entire plane and its passengers were annihilated in an instant. The room falls silent. He continues, We sent a few A-rank hunters to measure the magic density in the area. The results came back. This gate is above A rank. Therefore, we've officially classified it as an S-rank gate. The moment Chairman Woo Jin-chul finishes speaking, the entire hall falls silent. No one says a word. For the first time since the Cataclysm, a brand new S-rank gate has appeared and it's right over Korea. Sung Su, still in shock, says, An S-rank gate for the first time since the Cataclysm? At that moment, veteran hunter Cho Jung speaks up, his tone grim. He says the thing we feared the most has finally happened. He reminds everyone what happened the last time an S-rank gate opened, the nightmare of Beru. Standing just behind Su, Beru lets out a faint, eerie laugh and says, Young monarch, don't take this lightly. Do you know who faced the last world's S-rank monster? All eyes turn toward him. He continues, That monster was me. I was the boss of that gate. And just like that, the entire hall goes dead silent. Dungu starts trembling, whispering, Why does it feel like I'm staring at an old fear coming back to life? Beru's aura begins to spread across the room, his eyes glowing with that same terrifying brilliance from the past, and that panel, pure goosebumps. Jinwoo laughs and lightly punches his shoulder and says, Stop scaring people. Beru instantly turns serious again and says, Young monarch, this time is different. The gate that has opened is not ordinary, and even if all of us go together, we'll just end up being the dungeon boss's food. That single line sends chills down everyone's spine. Beru isn't just a shadow anymore. He's showing glimpses of his former self, the same Beru who spread terror before the Cataclysm. Now the real question is, who is the boss of this new S-rank gate? Is it the entrance of a new monarch or the return of an old nightmare? One thing is absolutely certain. In the next few chapters, Ragnarok is about to explode. So if you're as hyped as we are, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel because what's coming next is going to shake the entire solo leveling universe. See you in the next video where we might finally witness the beginning of the true Monarch vs. Monarch showdown.